A Latte Perspective with Kathy Durant and Juliana Tompkins, a mother-daughter podcast.
Hey, this is Dr. Spada from Growing Tree Chiropractic. We are a neurologically based chiropractic office in Mooresville, and we love to serve families, babies, kids, pregnant mamas, anybody from diapers to depends. So anytime that you need us, feel free to call us at 980-689-1893.
All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome to A Latte Perspective. So we are wonderful, amazing camera person has upgraded her system with a light.
A professional
which is now
light.
Why we are probably brighter. And we were just saying how we haven't had that, and not having makeup or looking pretty has, come in handy really because you couldn't see it.
Yeah.
So if you can see it now.
So if we look really flawed tonight, it's because we don't have a stitch of makeup on.
Nothing.
And
I'm in a sweatshirt.
We were not aware
we're not
that this
here.
Professional lighting was going to pick up all the flaws.
Yes. Mom doesn't have glasses
reflect
on.
off my glasses. So for those of you who have known me since I was 10 years old with glasses,
What
here
are
I
your
am.
contacts?
Dry eye.
I thought it was a finger in the eye thing.
No. I wore them for a long time until I got dry eye. Then they were sticking to my eyeball.
Oh.
So, yeah, that's not
Some
good.
people have that, finger to the eye thing.
No.
Like Faith with the makeup the other day.
Yeah.
Can you imagine that one with the
Oh, no.
You can't even
I
can't put the mascara on or
Okay. Yeah. She was so cute. Saturday night, Bob and I renewed our vows after 30 years. And so I was getting ready upstairs, and she was with me, and she had brought her bag from home, and I was giving her a shower because you were at school.
Right.
And so she digs in her bag, and she pulls out this bow. And she says, "Grandma." And I said, "What?" She goes, "Today's your wedding day, and so you have to have something glittery on your wedding day. So I want you to take this, and I want you to hold it for when you go to church for your wedding day." And she gives it to me, and I'm like, "Oh, Faith, thank you so much." But that was after she had taken the plunger that was in my shower.
I was hoping you were going to tell that one.
Yeah. So I go to turn the water on, and I don't notice my husband used a plunger to get my hair out of the drain because the shower water was draining slowly. And he had left it there. So I go in and turn the water on, and I get her undressed, and I go to put her in the shower, and she gets in the shower, and I turn to walk away, and all of a sudden she comes out of the shower wet with the plunger and looks at me, and she goes, "Just what is this doing in the shower?" And I said, "Pop had to use it to pull my hair out of the drain." "Oh." And she puts it down. I'm like, oh my gosh. It's like looking in a mirror.
You think?
Oh, she's me.
I know. It's really scary.
She's so her grandmother.
Oh, it's scary. She says to me today, wait, this is her story today. She gets in the car and she says, "Mom, there's a fourth grade teacher came in today, and she said that if we're all good, then we can go to her class so that they could do a story time." And I said, "Okay." She's like, "Yeah." She's like, "Because today there were 14 kids on yellow." And I'm like, "What does that mean, on yellow?" And she's like, "Well, that means that it's teacher's choice." Teacher's choice. She's like, "Well, yeah." And then she's like, "And then there was one kid that was on orange. And that means she has to call the parents." But she doesn't call the parents. I said, "How do you know?" "Because she does." I said, "It might happen when you guys go home." She's like, and she thought about it, like in her head, she was thinking about it. She was like, "Oh, okay," And then I'm like, "Well, what about you, Faith? You ever been on, were you on yellow?" "No, it's never moved. I've never moved. I've always been on green. I sit down in my spot and I am ready to go every time." And she's like, "And I told that teacher that." I was like,
she is her grandmother.
I was like, okay.
God, she is her grandmother.
I was like,
wow.
Okay. I'm like, so she will get to go to that story time with that fourth graders because she's never moved off of green. Which I will say every week she comes home, and it's one of those things like you have a paper, they stamp it, you have to sign it, and every week she's always got the smiley faces. So I'm thinking to myself, well, I mean, is that for everybody? Like,
right.
You just get those. No, I think it's just the way she is. She's just...
Well, see, her grandmother...
She might be sassy at home, but at least she's not...
Well, her grandmother's a perpetual student. I love to learn,
yeah.
and I've got tons of books upstairs I can't wait to get to, and...
I know.
And she's just like...
Okay, so speaking of being in the car, the one thing,
Yes.
our short topic of the day. So, a couple weeks ago, there was a road rage incident in this area where a gentleman, I guess he was in the car with his family, there was a gentleman in front of him, and the gentleman was going really slow, so the guy went around him. Nothing else happened. It wasn't like he was mean, it wasn't like he honked the horn, he didn't, whatever. Well, the gentleman that was going slow followed that guy, and at some point in time, the guy pulled over, went past him, whatever the case may be, got out, and he and somehow shot the other gentleman.
So the single guy
shot
the gentleman in front of his family.
In front of his family, because they had gotten out or whatever the case may be, and because he followed him for a while. From what I understand, he followed him for a while, and then one guy pulled into a driveway or a road or something, and they got out. I don't know what the case may be, and then he was shot. Thank the good Lord he did not die. He, I'm pretty sure he's recovering. But then today, so the reason I bring this up is, so today I was driving on 40 going to take the kids to the dentist. And there's a lot of construction on that highway right now. So I was in the fast lane coming up the hill, and there was a truck behind me. And I went to go move over because I had to get off. So I go to move over, and I wasn't I was doing probably 70, which is faster than I probably should have been going anyway. This GMC truck, before I could move over, got in that lane, I had my blinker on. So you see me going to move over, and then moves over and goes, and so I get behind him and I flash my lights dude, that was rude. You see my blinker and you see that I'm gonna go move over, and I have 3 kids in the car. Are you kidding me? I didn't beep, I didn't do anything. I just flashed my lights it's something that was rude, and he gets off. So now he's getting off, and I'm so you did that to do what? Because you got off. I was getting off. There was no reason to do it. So now so I'm going down the ramp, and he's going left and I'm going right. Now there's a lane so you can go right, you know what I mean, whatever. And he stopped. I look over and he gives me the finger. I did something wrong. And I'm why is it in our country, in the human race, whatever the case may be right now, that we are so mad that everything has to end up where you're giving somebody the finger, you're yelling at them, you're shooting them, and trust me, this is not about gun laws, because I'm all for guns, so we're not going to the gun law thing, but I just don't understand why there's so much anger about everything. It's the simplest thing.
The spirit of offense is rampant. The truth
is crazy.
The truth is that rage, anger, comes from, as a root, it's a secondary emotion, comes from either fear or hurt. Mm-hmm. The problem is right now that the spirit of offense, where people get offended at everything, is rampant.
Everything.
I mean, it is blanketing the earth right now. So you have to, we've talked about, we have members of our family that are so covered with the spirit of offense that you've got to pick and choose how you talk to them, when you talk to them, what you say to them. And it's tough.
And I'm not offended. I'm not offended by what he did. I'm just why? And I get my kids in the car and they're watching you give me the finger. You know what I mean? And whatever. And I'm not going to lie. There are times where I'm in traffic and I'm go! And I'm not, so my kids, and I've gotten to the point where face come on, go! And I'm oh my goodness, But I don't give people the finger, and I'm not going to, be mean, and I'm not going to do something like that. I'm never going to get out of the car and shoot somebody. You know what I mean?
Right.
But now I have to be afraid that somebody's going to get out and shoot me because they're road rage against me. That doesn't
cut me off.
Right. That doesn't even make any sense. And he was an older man. He had gray hair. He was an older gentleman. Because I saw him when he went by me on the highway. He's an older gentleman. And then you're going to give me the finger? To me, that's just, we're getting to be a little bit much.
Obviously, he had a bad day.
Yeah, obviously. Going off of the whole road rage thing, that was just a quick topic I had to get off my chest. I was kind of can't believe how people are about that. Okay, so I have a fun topic.
Oh, good. I'm so scared. You
have no idea how scared.
I'm so scared right now.
Okay,
go ahead, go.
So there was that funny meme, or not? It was a meme. It was a video.
Okay.
Of the kid.
Well, I know where you're going with this. Okay.
Okay, but I kind of want to go off of it because we're women and I want to talk about it because I think us as women need to talk about it sometimes. So, it was a funny video about a kid who heard his parents having sex.
And he completely
had a meltdown.
Completely had a meltdown. Because he heard him 3 times.
3 times, yeah. I mean, the video was hilarious. If you haven't seen it, you gotta find it. It's hilarious. But I can relate to that. We lived in a trailer when I was little. I can relate to him. It would have been me making those videos if we had those kind of things back then. Oh my God. But, so what I want to talk about though is genetics and things like that. So, genetics and how we dealt with things and how, so like, my question to you is, when you were growing up, your conversations or what you were taught about it was probably completely different than how you went about it with me.
Oh, night and day.
Right. So talk about real quick how you learned about it. Or like what you were taught about.
Sex and about
yeah.
Stuff. Okay.
No, about how grandma explained it to you.
Oh, that's going to be a real quick topic. Okay, so I went to school in the 6th grade and we got to see the movie about the bees and pollinating the flowers. And I sat watching this movie and I thought, I have no idea what the point of this is. I just don't. I went home and in the 7th grade, I was 12, I went in to go to the bathroom, wiped myself, and there was blood. And my grandparents, my father's parents, lived with us at the time. And so all 4 of them are in the living room watching TV with my brother. Let's see, if I was 12, that meant that the babies, my sisters, were like infant, and the other one was like maybe 18 months old. So they're 18 months apart. So they're little, and we're 9 and 11 years apart, and I was 12. So do the math. But anyway, I come screaming out of the bathroom. I'm dying. And they all look at me like, what is wrong with her? And my grandma looks at me, she goes, Kathleen, because she called me Kathleen. She's like, Kathleen, what's going on with you? And I was like, I wiped myself and there's blood. I'm dying. And so my grandmother quietly takes me into the bathroom to calm me down. My mom goes in her room, and back in the day, there were sanitary napkin belts and pads with tails on them that went up through it was almost like a garter kind of clasp. So the one tab went up through the front and one went up with the back, and you pretty much had a thong on underneath your underwear. So my mom comes in the bathroom and it was horrible. And so I'm like, what is it? And, my mom says, well, you saw the movie. Now you're just becoming a woman. What does that mean? I'm becoming a woman. I don't know what that means. And so, and she said, so this is going to last for a couple of days. A couple of days? And you're going to have to wear these pads and change them and stuff. And I'm like, people are going to see them underneath my pants, because back then it had just been allowed for us to wear pants to school, because prior to that we weren't allowed to wear pants. So our first year in junior high school, we were allowed to wear pants. So, we were wearing jeans.
Oh, lucky girl. At that time, like, I get to wear pants.
Yeah, well, I'm a little old. So
no, I don't mean that. I just mean I get to wear pants and now I get to show this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So now it's going to show, right? And so I'm like, so for how long? And my mother goes, for the rest of your life, until you're like in your 50s. It's going to come once a month. What do you mean it's going to come once a month? For the rest of my life? Are you kidding me right now? That was it.
Right. Okay. So, but then what did she tell you about sex?
Nothing.
That's not true. I've heard the story. What did Grandma explain to you?
She said that women don't have to like it. They just have to do it. It's their wifely duties to do it.
And to lay there.
And to lay there and just let the man do what they need to do and suffer through it. And when it's over, it's over. That's what I got. There was no fun in it. There was no joy in it. There was no enjoying it. There was just, you lay there and take it and suffer through it. And when they're done, they're done. But that I have to lay there and take it.
Did she tell you that's how babies were made?
Oh, I didn't get any of the, like, this is the male part, this is the female part, this is how they come to... No, I didn't get none of that. I didn't even know there was an extra place down there. I mean, I knew there was a place where I went number 1, and I knew there was a place I went number 2. I didn't know there was a place in between that's where the blood came from. No, she didn't tell me any of that.
And she was a nurse. She was a baby nurse, nonetheless.
Yeah, she was head nurse in the nursery for 37 years, and that's the education that I got about my body, how it works, and all. Yeah, there was zippity doo dah. Yeah, none. Which is why I got in trouble at 17.
Right.
Yeah, because I didn't know any better. I didn't know what was going on. I had no idea.
Okay, so wait. So now I want to know when the time comes, what were you, like, when did you actually realize what sex was? Like, I mean, like, how did you, like, how does...
Okay.
I mean, it can't be like, oh my God, you know what I mean? Like, how does one come about that?
All right. So I had a girlfriend up the street, Ruth, that was 2 years older than me. And we were really close, and I could talk to her. And she was advanced in ways that I was not. And so she started to become, you have to understand that it was the late 60s, early 70s. It was the year of Woodstock.
Right.
It was free, it was
Where
sex,
free, yeah.
love, it was free
that's
love.
When it started
and
being,
that's
yeah.
when, that's when everybody was just, you
Right.
know, throwing their bras away, you know.
Right. That's when sex became more normal than it was back in the 30s and 20s and stuff like that. Right.
And back in
In
the
the
day,
50s, really, but...
back in the day, Lucy and Ricky Ricardo had separate twin beds. They were
Right.
fully dressed in full pajamas, had to have a foot on the floor during filming because they couldn't touch.
Right.
Because of, it was taboo. Now pretty
Right.
much you turn on the TV and
It's, yeah,
everybody's
everywhere.
having...
Okay, so anyway,
Ruth.
yeah.
So Ruthie... and that's what's her nickname, and that's what we called her. So Ruthie got sexually active and was telling me about this great stuff I was missing. You know, like, oh, this is the best thing.
Now, how old were you at that time?
I was about 16, going on 17.
So she didn't say lay there and take it.
No. No, but she didn't give me a whole lot of information either.
Okay.
Except for it was fun. She did tell me that I needed to take a mirror in the bathroom with me and kind of look down there to see what was there, so I knew, you know, that I had another body part. So I did, you know. I was like, oh.
You're more adventurous than I was.
Yeah. So anyway, but what she did say to me is like, you know, she did say a boy has a thing. You know, I had a brother.
Well, he had a brother.
Yeah, I had a brother. I knew he had a thing, and I
Right.
didn't have a thing. So, you know, she said he takes that thing.
He had an Audi, you have an innie.
Right.
Okay.
You know, he takes that thing and he puts it in that, you know, space and but it feels really, really good. And, you know, you don't know what you're missing. I was terrified. You're going to do what? Where? Are you kidding me right now? Your father had the worst time. I feel so bad for your father. You have no idea how bad I feel for him. Seriously. You have no idea how bad I feel for him. Oh, okay. So are you going to ask me about this?
No.
Oh, okay.
I mean...
all right. I'm not going to give you details, but I will tell you that your poor father, I had on my nightgown, a house coat, the lights were off, and I was terrified to be seen
For the
naked.
first time?
Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, yeah. And then he wanted it again. I was like, this was horrible. Like, how could you, this wasn't even fun. Like, you know, why would you want to do this again? And I went to Ruthie and I'm like, this wasn't fun. Like, I don't know which part of this you thought was great, because this wasn't fun. I mean, I felt, you know, looking back, your father had it horrible. I mean, I don't know why he stuck around. I was a mess. I was a total mess.
Okay, so... I'm not going to ask you when you started enjoying it, because that's just weird. But,
I appreciate your censoring yourself. I do. I so appreciate that.
We're not going to go there.
Okay, but I do want to say, let me just interject this right here. Because you have to understand that a lot of mothers and daughters don't talk like
well,
this.
that's kind of where I'm getting at too. So
All right, go ahead.
Okay. So when I was 9,
yes.
I just come to live with you at the age of 9.
9 and a half.
Yeah. So it wasn't long after that, I guess. I remember it was the age of 9. I remember her handing me a book. Mm-hmm. And it was a reproductive book.
Yes.
How babies are made and all that stuff.
And it starts at the very beginning with the female body parts and getting your period
Right.
and how to take care of yourself.
Okay.
And it goes
So,
all the way
right,
through to
right.
having a baby.
Right.
So it was soup to nuts.
So
A to Z. Because I didn't have that.
I remember at that time, she would be like it would, like the whole week would go by, and she'd be like, "Well, did you read?" And I'd have to like give it like almost like a book report. And I'm like,
Yes, because I wanted to make
So-
sure you understood what you were reading.
so like so I'm 9 years old. I have no idea, and I have to give a book report on a book that now makes me so uncomfortable because it's talking about things that I don't understand.
Right.
And I don't want to talk about, So I didn't have sex until I was out of high school. I waited until I was in college. Okay, so my whole thing was I'm not gonna have sex before marriage because
And you
at that
yes.
time I was like, I want to not have sex with too many people. Like I wanted to have sex with just who I was married. And I get to college. I mean, I was good in high school. I mean, for one, I was heavy and men didn't want me, so it was fine. It
No,
worked
okay,
out.
that's so not true. Can I just interject here? No, I need to interject here.
Yes, my brother threatened him, and I figured find that out later on in life.
She really felt that every boy in school, that she was fat and ugly and no boy wanted her. The truth was that her older brother was going around telling everybody, you look at my sister, I kill you.
I found that out from a
So-
guy friend.
Right.
not too
You don't go
long
near
ago.
my sister, I'll
Yeah.
kill you.
Yeah.
So Jules was not aware that the guys were terrified that this 6'5" guy was going to kill him if they even went near his sister.
But I mean,
So-
he was out of high school for a while, but it doesn't matter. Either
Yes.
way, it worked out for my benefit at
Right.
that time. So go
But
to college.
it didn't give you tools. The problem
No.
is it didn't give you tools about male-female relationships and dating when you were home.
It also made me
where
very
we could help
self-conscious.
you.
It
Yes.
also made me very self-conscious of my body, things like that. So when I went to college, almost like the same thing with Ruthie. Like, here's all these girls. I'm in a dorm with 2 floors. No, I think 1 floor guys and 2 girls, or 2 guys and 1 girl, something like that. And I'm hearing all these girls talking. And
You thought you were missing
and
something.
I'm like, man, I must be missing something because I have not had this experience and blah blah blah. So this guy friend of mine from high school comes now, somebody I know, so it's more comfortable. So we kind of talked about it, and because I figured I'd feel more comfortable with somebody I knew. Turned out to be like the worst decision ever. I ended up calling my mother crying.
Oh, you were hysterical.
I remember sitting in the stairwell of my dorm.
I couldn't even understand what she was saying.
Like, just sobbing.
I'm 700 miles away, and I can't even go and comfort her. It was horrible.
Yeah. And then I had an abusive boyfriend, and that didn't help matters much after the fact. So, I mean, so my sexual, whatever, did not start out very well. And it wasn't until I think met Tommy and got with Tommy that I could get out of my own head and realize what was good about it.
Right.
So, and the reason I brought this up is because I realized, women in general, we have kids and we get tired, and it becomes something that, I think becomes on a back burner, where for men it's not, it's different. I think some women, this is where the whole judging thing comes in too. Like, women who have it more promiscuous, and women who, do this and this, and we judge each other. When sometimes in reality, it's, some of us have a hard time. Some of us, maybe don't know our own bodies to know how to enjoy it, or even we can't talk about it in a comfortable sense. Because it's still, even though in the 60s it was free love and all this, and it's become less taboo, in a way I feel like it's less taboo on the TV. It's still taboo to talk about sometimes among women.
Right.
I mean, not all of them, because there are women who freely talk about it. I'm not gonna lie. There are women who freely talk about it, and but then there are women like me who it's like, I feel uncomfortable right now. I don't want to talk about it, because I'm still not comfortable within my own body. I'm still not comfortable about it sometimes. I'm still chubby and I feel self-conscious, and there are times where I just don't want to do it because I feel fat today, and Tommy gets well, I don't understand why you don't want to have sex with me. Well, because I feel fat today. Like, I don't want you touching me. I'm self-conscious. Like,
I'm the same way.
You know what I mean? Like,
if I'm up on my
like,
weight, I'm like, you don't want to come near this because, like, I'm chubby right now.
Right.
But you have to understand that I was 35 pounds overweight when I came home crying, and I said to Bob, why didn't you tell me how heavy I was? Why didn't you tell me how fat I had gotten? And he said, because I didn't see it. To him, it didn't matter. Mm-hmm. It mattered to me that I went from a size 12 to a 16, and I was, 16s were tight. Mm-hmm. And I weighed just as much as I did full-term labor for Robbie. And I had gained 60 pounds with Robbie. So in my mind, I'm 60 pounds overweight. Like,
right.
How could you find me attractive?
Exactly.
Because I'm super fat. Now, I lost 35. I was still fighting that last 15. And when I tell you I took it out back in the wagon and blew it up, I ain't kidding. So now I'm even more that I got to go back and lose. But as the weight has come on in the last 6 months, I find myself shying away the same thing. Because
like,
when I feel good about myself and I feel good about my body, then I'm all for it. Right. But if I don't, and I feel super fat or ugly that day, then how could you find this pretty? How could you find this sexy? How could you?
Exactly.
Yeah, there's no way.
I'm like, nope, don't touch me. Get off me. Nope. And like, I find that I'm definitely more like I do get, more affectionate sometimes when I feel better about myself or whatever, because I'm like, oh, okay, I'm not so bad, But I do find that he likes me and loves me no matter what I look like.
Right.
So I just think that as women, instead of judging and, maybe try to understand where we're coming from, and because, I not that I want to talk about it, but I don't want to be judged by the conversation either. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And in today's society, does everyone wait till marriage? No. If you do it, fantabulous on you, because I, would have loved, to have stuck to my guns and done it that way. But then there, are those people who haven't, and if they need help or, want to talk about it, which goes back to what we were saying, that I think because you've always been so open about it has made it so you and I can talk about it. Because my roommate, Denise, in college.
Talk about Denise
in college, when I would call you or talk to you or whatever, and she'd be like, you're talking to your mom about what? And I'm like, yeah, like, you don't talk to your mom? And she's like, no. I'm like, wait, does your mom know you've had sex? No. Like, I'm like, wait a minute here. And it's like, I just always felt comfortable to come to you, I guess. I don't know if it's because you did give me the book or, like, you kept open communication, even though we weren't together for, a long period of time, really, whatever. But again, those were years where I was forming in my sexuality and in my womanhood and getting my period and things like that. And so, I think that helped in being able to come and talk to you. And so it's always good, and I think that's part of the reason why women don't talk, because, like, mothers and daughters don't always have that relationship to where they can go to each other and talk about it. I think because they think moms will judge them, and they think moms will tell them they're bad, or moms will say, this or that, and won't support them, or, whatever the case may be. And I think that is something that moms don't mean to portray, but that it happens, and that, I try to keep, an open, I got a funny one for you.
So, before you go there.
Yeah.
The one thing that I think promoted this, conversation between us and the communication between us is the fact that I had nobody to talk to. Right. When I was pregnant at 17, my grandmother wasn't in the house anymore. My mom, I couldn't talk to her about anything. I actually talked to the school nurse. I actually went to the school nurse.
You had to talk to somebody you didn't know.
Correct. To say, look, this is what I think's going on. I didn't get my period. I think I'm pregnant. And she's like, well, were you sexually active? Well, duh. Yeah. Well, obviously I wouldn't think I was pregnant if I wasn't sexually active. And, and she sat me down and said, okay, these are the things that are going to happen. You're going to have to tell your parents. This is, and this was February of my senior year.
Right.
I was terrified. So having gone through what I went through with thinking I was dying the first day of my period,
Right.
and then not knowing about birth control, I remember my music teacher. I remember going to my music teacher and telling him I was teaching his daughter twirling, and I confessed to him that I was in the family way, and if he didn't want me to teach his daughter anymore, I would totally understand. And he was so gracious, such a wonderful man. I love this man. And he said to me, he said, Kathy, he said, the girls that are promiscuous know how to avoid that. The fact that you got caught shows me that you're a good girl. And he said, I don't mind you being around my daughter. And so he let me keep teaching her. But I didn't want that for you. I didn't want you not to have a place to go and talk to people. I didn't want you to have choices that you made, because I made choices that I was responsible for out of ignorance.
Right.
I didn't want you making those choices out of ignorance. I wanted you to have all the knowledge, and I also wanted you to know that even if there was a mistake or something that you regretted, like you calling me up from college, that you could do that. I wanted to, just as you're grooming your relationship with Faith and Brinley, I groomed that on purpose. I was very purposeful about it, to make sure that you did have a safe place.
Right. So, in knowing that these conversations have to be had eventually, and with the TV that is on today, and the kids
you got to be
see
careful. The
things
commercials
and whatever,
are horrific.
So my kids have said the word sex, I think, more than I ever said the word sex at their age, because they hear it, and you know, what do you say? The other day, my kid asked me about a word, and I was like, I have to look that up. I know what the word. I mean, I know what it means, but I did not know how to
explain it to him.
They're watching, and I'll give you exactly what it was. So we're watching Station 19, which is a fire show.
Correct.
Not in thinking anything of it. The kids are watching it, and a girl was having a baby, and it's a Grey's Anatomy show, whatever. Okay, intertwined. Long story short, the girl's having a baby. The one chick who's a fire EMT says, "Well, this doctor says if you masturbate, it will go easier."
Right, labor will go easier. Yeah.
What does my 8-year-old look at me and say? What's masturbate? I'm gonna look that up. I'll get back to you. I could not come up with something in that moment to lie about.
Well,
because I didn't know. I'm like, what do I say? This pregnant? Like, I had no idea. However, in another instance, when I was having a conversation with Faith, her and I were talking before she was going to bed one night, and I was telling her, because she's always coming home and going, this boy's got a crush on me, and this boy's got a crush on me, and I'm like, you're 6, stop talking about it. Like, I try not to encourage it. So, in the nicest way possible. So we were talking one night, and I said, Faith, you're 6. I'm like, you need to not worry about that right now. I said, but as you get older, there will be a time, and whatever. So the way that I put it was that her body is like an Oreo, and that she doesn't want to give away too many pieces of her Oreo, because then she won't have any left. And I kind of like her heart and her soul and
loves
things.
Oreos.
She loves Oreos. She loves her Oreos.
That's a great currency.
So I just was like, your body is like an Oreo, and if too many boys take a bite out of it, then you won't have anything left. And I think she actually kind of got it. I mean, I'm
very.
I'm not gonna lie. I was actually quite proud of myself for that moment, because I didn't know how to put it in a sense that she would understand me, and then she did, because I used an Oreo.
Well, and
so that worked,
and that was her currency,
right?
Yeah. That's
so I was just happy that I was able to somehow express to her that she can talk to me, that we can talk about these things, and that we can be open. And, today, I feel like why I was upset, and I say to him, when you're ready, come talk to me, we'll talk about it. If you need my one-on-one attention, we go to his room and we lay on his bed, and he'll talk to me. He likes the snuggling, he likes to talk, and things like that. And so I give him that one-on-one to be able to talk to me. Because again, I don't want him, he's a boy, I don't want him going out and doing something that he's going to regret or do, and something like that. So I try to make sure I can talk to him about it. And I try to leave those communication lines open.
Right.
Which I think is very important, with the children and, in today's society. Because I think sometimes I think some of these kids in their younger than me days, or whatever, have not been talked to. They've been sheltered because we didn't want to tell them too much. We didn't want to, and they're just, and now we're just flying off the handle, and it's getting out of getting out of control,
Right. So my question to you is,
Oh gosh.
what did you tell him about masturbate?
I didn't. I still haven't answered.
Okay.
Oh, no.
He's only 8 years old.
I know.
Well, I was curious how you handled it.
Oh no, I still haven't said anything.
Oh, okay. No, I agree.
I kind of like let it go.
Yeah.
We let it go. We didn't say
If
that
you
was
don't
it.
talk about it,
Yeah,
then
that was
they'll
it. We let it
forget.
go.
Yeah,
We let it go.
they'll let it. Yeah, they'll.
I'm sure it'll come up again someday.
Yes.
But this point in time, I let it go.
Just shoved it under the rug.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. I don't blame you.
I mean.
Yeah, I don't blame you at all. I most definitely would have
No.
shoved it under some rug.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, sex is one thing. Masturbate's a whole nother.
Oh yeah, that's a whole different.
You know what I mean? Like you say
Yeah.
sex and it's like kissing. They're just kissing. Or if like something comes on that's starting to be inappropriate, I'm like, close your eyes. Close your eyes. Don't watch. And they know they know as soon as like some kissing starts to close their eyes at this point. It's just in every show. It's hard to avoid anymore.
Oh, I know.
You
It's very hard to edit because
Right.
you just don't know which show is going to show what.
Right. Exactly.
So
okay.
what I want to talk about just for a few seconds is,
Oh, yeah.
how did Tommy make out? I mean, I saw the FaceTime. I was sick, by the way. I was so sick that I had a fever. I was in the bed and I couldn't move, and so Jewel had to do the Facebook Live by
Right.
herself. She pulled Tommy into it, so
Because there ain't no way you're getting me on camera by myself.
So I did watch, but I want to know what happened like after.
Well, I can tell you what happened
afterwards.
before.
Yeah, before.
So my husband walks in the door. For one, okay, I said I was gonna do it at 6, and then I almost completely forgot about the whole thing. And so I was like, okay, I'm going at 7 then, because then maybe dinner would be done and whatever. Okay. So my husband walks in the door at 6:15, and I looked at him and I said, honey. And he was like, what? I was like, you're going on Facebook Live with me. No, I'm not. Yes, you are. Why? I'm like, because mom is sick. And he always says to me, three-way with her. Three-way with her somehow. And I'm like, I can't. And he was like, this is not cool. I'm like, so he was like freaking out. He had this like whole vibe of like, he was freaking out on the inside. Like he was trying to play. The kids are like, what's wrong with you? And he was like, nothing. And I'm like, he's freaking out. And he was like, he's outside smoking a cigarette. And I'm like, are you okay? And I'm like, I get it. I mean, I'm nervous and I have, I get uncomfortable, but he was just like.
He did really well.
He looks at me and goes, you're going to owe me for this.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure. I'm sure he's going to put that on your tab. Uh-huh.
He's like, you're going to owe me for this. I'm like, I ain't owing you nothing.
Uh-huh.
But talking about whose currency is what. But it was really, I mean, he did good. Mm-hmm. He started out, just like I said, he gets shy, but then once you get him talking about and whatever, then he started talking.
Yeah, he cracked me up. He was funny. Yeah. But see,
he's a character.
He should have told the story about how he put a cigarette in his mouth and looked down and burnt the center of his beard. That the reason why there's a bald spot in there is because
that's what you were saying. He lit on fire. Oh my god.
Yeah, he literally had a cigarette in his mouth, leaned down, and was working on something with a cigarette in his mouth. All of a sudden, he saw flames and smelled hair, and he's burning his beard up.
He's like, I want to grow this nice beard. Well, you gotta stop burning it. You gotta stop straightening it. You gotta put some oil in it.
Yeah.
But he doesn't want to get his hands oily.
What is it with men and their
I don't know.
Let's roll into that. Men and their idiosyncrasies.
Okay, so Anthony.
Yes.
You know Anthony. I call it pop logic.
Oh, it is pop logic?
We call it pop logic, yeah. Because
Okay.
it just none of it makes
Doesn't
sense.
make sense? Yeah.
Like we're in the car, turn the AC off before you turn the car off because otherwise it'll ruin it. What? That doesn't make any sense.
If you have a starter, like I start my car, I have to have the air on so it'll cool the car off so I can get in it.
Right.
Okay, so
He thinks to turn it, yeah. Or like, there's been so many, and I can't remember all right this second, but we went somewhere, and there was so many that literally the kids and I were like, this is pop logic because it doesn't make any sense. Like, so that's how we nicknamed it. When a man does something that literally makes no sense, it's called pop logic.
Okay. Well, I might have I didn't have pop logic tonight, but I had my own issue.
You had an idiosyncrasy thing.
I definitely
Right.
had an idiosyncrasy. So our funny story this week comes from me.
My husband's off the hook. You're welcome.
So my husband comes home at 5:50. We're scheduled to record at 6:00. our videographer Kayla's not here, Jules not here yet. I'm standing in the doorway, and he comes in and he goes, "It's 10 to 6. He said, "So I thought you were filming at 6 o'clock. I said, "We are." He said, "But your videographer isn't here and your daughter's not here." And I said, "I understand that." He goes, "Well, your videographer has to get set up. And what if her equipment doesn't work? And what are you going to do then? And did she test her equipment at home before she came here? Is she going to test it here? What happens? And where's your daughter?" And I mean, he just rolled. He kept going and kept going. I didn't even get a word in edgewise. I just let him go. And then when he took a breath, I went, "Hold on. Is this your podcast?" He said, "No." I said, "Do you want it to be your podcast? Do you want to be in charge of the podcast?" "No." He said, "I just don't understand. If you say you're going to start at 6 o'clock, why aren't people here at 6 o'clock? I said to him, "It only takes Kayla 6 minutes roughly to open up a tripod, hook up her camera, hook up the microphone." I said, "Now this week she's got a new light. Might take her 7 minutes." I said, and then we record and we're done. I said to him, "So really, if she gets here at 6, I said, we start recording no later than 6:30. We're done by 7:30. I said, "And you're leaving anyway." So I said, "What's the problem?" And he said, "Well, I just don't understand it. If you say 6 o'clock, then why are you not here at 5:30 setting up?" I said, "Well, Kayla works till 5 in Salisbury.
You want to know why this is funny? You want to know why this is funny? So we talked about I think a week or two ago, about the fact that Mom is uptight and that her husband doesn't help the fact because he's worse than her. Because if you're not 10 minutes early, you're late.
Yes,
you're late.
Talked about that in another podcast.
So here is an instance. So Saturday night, their valve renewal. I was at school. I had to come, and we had to get back here. Whatever it didn't start till 5:30.
No, 5 o'clock.
Okay, 5 o'clock. Okay, fine. I'll give you at 5 o'clock. Okay,
it was 5 o'clock.
She wanted to leave here by 3:30. It takes 45 minutes at most, maybe an hour to get there. We drove in the fast pass lane, so it's even the express. I mean, come on. We got there at 4:15. 4:15. Now, mind you, I would want to go to the store because I didn't have wipes for the baby, because I was being rushed out of the house, because we had to leave, because we had to be there early, 45 minutes early.
We were told we had to be there by 4:30.
So we get there. The staff is just getting there. They're doing a staff circle that we're now invading. And people don't even start arriving at like 5. I don't think it even started until after 5 o'clock.
No, it starts at 5.
I'm like, so we rushed here. You rushed me at the house. We have no wipes. And Wyatt needed cough medicine. That's the other thing. Why to get cough medicine for Wyatt? Because he was coughing a lot. And we rushed here. And then I was getting an attitude because I wanted to go to the store, because we had 45 minutes. I wanted to go to the store so that I could get the wipes and the cough medicine.
I didn't give you an attitude.
No, you didn't.
Well, don't look at me. I did not give you
Idiosyncrasies
an attitude.
did. Idiosyncrasies did. Because I wanted to go to the store. And then and it's like, to me, it's like, why give an attitude, or why get upset about something like that when I'm like, oh, I'll go to the store. I'm sitting around for 45 minutes. I have time to go to the store. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying?
I'm not arguing with you. The man is rigid.
Like 45 minutes. and then after the service makes a reservation for 7:45. We get there by 7:15. I thought it was gonna take longer. Good God. You know what getting there early does? It makes you stand around. I don't like to stand around.
Patience is not your virtue.
Neither is your husband's, but just the opposite way.
So we have a special request tonight, and our request is, please subscribe to our podcast. It helps us. Share the podcast. Tell everybody about it.
It helps you guys. It helps other women. It helps moms and daughters.
Well, that's what I meant. It helps get the word out there that there is a conversation happening between mothers and daughters that is good for everybody. So, thank you for tuning into A Latte Perspective, and tune in next time for A
Latte More Perspective. We got it down this time. Woohoo!
This podcast is brought to you by the Cedar Stump Pubs, Statesville location is at 3442 East Broad Street. Troutman location is at 152 South Main. Remember, every Friday we have music bingo from 9 to 11 p.m. Every Saturday night, live music from 9 p.m. to 12 a.m. We're open till 2 a.m. Come rest your rump at the stump.